lovelies. As we are moving into October and getting even closer to Halloween, I am so excited that Wet n Wild has released a Disney Villains collection. It is absolutely perfect for this time of year. And so from this collection, I picked up several different products, and all of those go together with these two different eyeshadow palettes. Products that are based on the Evil Queen and Cruella de Vil, and products based on Maleficent and Ursula. And so as I was looking at these two different eyeshadow palettes and these beautiful color stories, I was thinking, well, it would be kind of cool to do two different videos and focus on each palette and the characters that go along with them. So today I'm going to be focusing on a beautiful red and pink look, and then in the next video I'm going to be working more on a blue and purple and green kind of look. So I'm really excited to go ahead and split these apart. So today we're going to be looking at all of the products that I picked up that include both the Evil Queen and Cruella de Vil and this beautiful, beautiful palette. So this is the look that I put together today with these products. I cannot wait to do some swatches to show you this tutorial and show you how well all of these products perform. So come along with me and let's make up the rules. To start out this look, I've already got my base makeup on, but I did not put on any blush or any highlighter because I wanted to be able to use those from the collection to be able to add to this look. So to start out, I'm going to go ahead and add a little color to my face and put on some blush. So I've got the two blushes that go with the palette we're going to use today, the one for the Evil Queen and the one for Cruella de Vil, going for more of that kind of pink and reddish look. So the one that is the Evil Queen, this is Bad Apple is the shade name, and then the Cruella de Vil is called Wretched. They are both cream blushes, so I'm really excited to try these out and to see how they perform on the face. So I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to try one on each cheek, and then I'm going to blend the two together and get a unique look because I am going out later today and I don't want two different shades of blushes on. So I want to try them both out, see how they look, and then also see how well they blend together. These blushes come in beautiful little packages that look like this. They say Disney Villains on the side and then Wet n Wild on the other side. And then I absolutely love the blushes themselves. The one for the Evil Queen's got the poison apple. The one for Cruella de Vil has her hair on the top. So these are really, really pretty. And then the cap of it just comes off like this. And so these are absolutely stunning. That is a beautiful, beautiful red blush shade. And then the Cruella de Vil one is a little bit darker. It's almost still on the red side, but you can definitely see the difference. The Evil Queen is much more vibrant, and then this one's a little more muted for Cruella de Vil, a little bit darker. So I'm really excited to try both of these out. To apply the blush today, I'm going to be using a Real Techniques brush. This is actually a contour brush, but I really like this for my blush. It's pretty small, so you're able to get a really good application, and then it also is just picks up a lot of product on it. I tend to go a little heavy-handed on my blush. That's what I like, and so this brush tends to work out really well for me. So I'm going to go ahead and start out with this beautiful red shade. I'm really excited to see how this one performs. I'm going to try to go a little light-handed, just picking it up because I'm not sure exactly how pigmented it is and how much product I will actually need. But I've got just a little bit on there, and I'm just going to tap this onto my cheeks where I would usually apply my blush. That is really pretty. Pick up a little bit more and just start to layer and build up. I definitely want to go lighter at first and then build up as we go, just so we don't have too much pigmentation starting out. That is a beautiful shade. It is really, really pigmented in the package. I feel like once you put it on the brush and you start to kind of blend it into the skin, it's pigmented and it's very pretty, but it definitely doesn't look too overpowering. And it almost has a little bit more of a pinkness on the skin than it does in the packaging. So I really like that. I think that looks really nice. That is a very, very pretty shade. That is beautiful. It goes on very nicely, very creamy. And just tapping it onto my cheeks and building up that pigment. That is beautiful. That is a really, really pretty shade. I'm really excited to try the other one and then also to blend them and to see how they look together. So let's go ahead and try on that Cruella de Vil shade. So for this next shade, Wretched for Cruella de Vil, I went ahead and cleaned off my brush, and we're gonna do the same process. Just grab a little bit on the end of the brush, pick up some of that product, and then just tap it onto the cheek. I do anticipate this one will be a little more muted, a little less vibrant than the Evil Queen shade Bad Apple, but I think this is still going to be really, really pretty on the skin. And that is going on very beautifully. They both definitely have some redness to them, just kind of some red tints, but this one definitely has maybe a little bit more of a maroon or brown kind of shade within that red. So it's definitely a little bit more of a neutral shade, maybe more of an everyday shade than the Bad Apple one. But definitely if you're going for a very bold look, or if you have a lot of red on, maybe a red dress, that Bad Apple would go really well with that. It would complement it beautifully and definitely be a very bright and vibrant shade to wear. I really like both of them. They are pretty similar. They really do have pretty similar wear. I kind of thought this one would be a little more brown and a little bit darker, but honestly they go on pretty similarly. I think they look really, really pretty, and you really can't tell too much of a difference. I am going to add a little bit of each shade to the other cheek, just that way I know that they are blended and they look exactly the same. But I definitely think those are really pretty. This one has, like I said, just a hint more red, but this one really does have quite a bit of red in it also. So those go together really nicely. And while I'm here, I'm just going to go ahead and tap on a little bit of that Wretched shade on this other side, kind of blend those together. And then I will grab some more of Bad Apple and go ahead and tap that onto the other side. Since I am blending these together, I'm not going to worry about cleaning off my brush. I'm just going to go ahead and tap a little bit more over here. Yeah, I'll put a little more here so that they are definitely matching on both sides, and they've got that nice bright red. I do have some red in my dress today, so I don't mind there being a little bit of extra red on my cheeks. And I think that is beautiful. Like, it's just a nice, beautiful apple kind of cherry red. That is a stunning shade on both sides. I really like them together. I think it really pulls out the red. It makes it pop a lot more. So I am very, very, very happy with how that turned out. The next product that we're going to be trying out is the Bad Rep Jelly Highlighter. This is a really pretty package for this item in this collection. I did not pick up the Cruella de Vil one. It was more of a gold shade, and I decided that I didn't think personally I would use that very much, but I really like the Evil Queen one. It's this beautiful shimmery pink shade, so I'm really excited to try this one out. The shade name is Unpredictable. That is perfect for the Evil Queen, and I think this is going to look really pretty on the skin. It's going to go really nicely with that red blush. The red and the pink are going to complement each other really well. So I'm really excited to try this one out. So let's go ahead and pop it out of the cardboard packaging and we will try it out on the skin. Here's the actual highlighter. It is such a pretty package. It's got a lot of icons to represent the Evil Queen. It's got the face of the magic mirror. It's got the poisoned apple, a dagger through the heart, and her crown. So it is really, really pretty packaging. I love these colors. They are perfect for her cape and her outfit that she wears, that purple and then that green that we always see with our Disney villains. So this is really, really pretty. And then I'm so excited to look at the shade inside. So it comes with a little cap here on the top to keep your product protected. So we're gonna go ahead and take that off. And then, oh my goodness, look at this beautiful pink shimmery shade. That is so, so stunning. It has a twist up on the product, so you can go ahead and pull the product up and be able to use it. I cannot wait to try this out on the skin. It is so gorgeous. That is an absolutely beautiful, almost kind of Barbie pink, but it's so fun that this is in a Disney Villains collection. I think it's a little unexpected for it to be so kind of bubblegum pink, but I just think that is so, so pretty. So I'm just gonna go ahead and with the applicator just try to swipe it on my cheek and just see how this applies. I'm gonna go very softly at first, just because I'm not sure how pigmented it's gonna be. And think we can start to see it on the skin. It's kind of cold to the touch. I didn't expect it to be so cold. It's probably just that jelly aspect of it. But definitely you can start to see it there on the skin. My hair didn't get caught in it. You can definitely start to see it here on the skin. And I'm just gonna blend it in with my finger. I think that's really pretty. It gives just a very gentle little shine to it. Definitely not too overpowering, which I like because it is such a bright color. I think it goes on very softly on the skin and very gently. So it's very, very pretty. It is pigmented. You can definitely see it and see the shimmer from it. But definitely it's just a nice glow on the top of your cheeks. I'm gonna put a little bit on my forehead, just right in the center, and kind of blend that in with my finger. I'll put a little bit down at the bridge of my nose and on the tip of my nose. These are the places that I usually apply my highlighter, just to hit those high points on the skin and really give everything just a nice glow. I'll go ahead and do that, and then a little bit here on my chin. I think it has just kind of a dewy effect to it. I think that's probably the jelly aspect of the highlighter. I've never used a jelly highlighter before, but I think it is really, really pretty. It's got a nice little shimmer, a nice little glow, and definitely you can see it all across the skin. It definitely has a really nice, pretty, just light, kind of slightly wet look to it, but I think that looks really nice. It's really pretty. Blends into the skin really well. It definitely goes very nicely with those blushes that we applied, so I'm really happy with the highlighter. I think it looks really nice. It's definitely not as just bright and kind of in your face as I was afraid it might be, so I think that's really, really nice. So I'm very happy with the highlighter. I'm very happy with the blush, and I can't wait to go ahead and take a look at the eyeshadows. We'll take some swatches and then we'll get into our tutorial for today. I am very excited about the eyeshadow palette for the Evil Queen and for Cruella de Vil. It is absolutely stunning. It's got some beautiful red shades to it. The name of this palette is Unleashed. I think that is perfect for these two characters. It absolutely describes them. So I'm really, really loving the color story here. I think it perfectly captures both of them. It's got some beautiful, stunning shades in here. So I'm really excited. Let's go ahead and start swatching these colors. It does have a little grid on the back of the palette. A lot of Wet n Wild palettes have this, where it has the shade names back here. So you kind of have to flip back and forth to try to see the shade names. So I'm going to try to do that while we go through the swatches so we can just see what they're called and how well they apply on the skin. So this first one is going to be called Fur. It's a nice, beautiful, kind of light shimmery shade. So let's go ahead and grab some and we'll put this on here. This looks like it would be a great inner corner shade or maybe a great topper shade. It's very light. It's almost a little bit translucent, mostly just kind of glittery. It's really pretty. It's got almost a slight gold reflect to it. I think that's really stunning and perfect for Cruella de Vil. The next one is called Obsession. This one's going to be another shimmer shade, a little bit darker, a little bit more of an actual shade that you could wear just on its own, not necessarily as a topper or inner corner shade. Very pretty. The next one is called Fashion. This one's a little bit more of an orangey kind of gold looking shade. Another shimmer. These are beautiful shimmers in this palette. They have a lot of glitter in them. It was something I was not necessarily expecting from this entire collection, is so much glitter. But I think that is perfect for all of these female villains. I think that really captures them and just kind of their flair that they have. So I think these are really pretty shades. The next one is called Madness. This one's a little bit darker than the other ones. Oh wow, that was not how I thought that would swatch at all. It looks almost kind of purple in the pan, but then when you apply it, it almost looks like it's got some green reflect in it. It'll really build it up so we can see the shade. That's very, very pretty. It catches in the light. You can see it's kind of got some purple and some green. It's very pretty, and let me show you in the pan. And yeah, actually now that I'm picking it up, you can see it looks sort of purple straight on, but it does have this green reflex. So that's really, really pretty. It's got a nice kind of duochrome to it. So I think that is a really stunning shade, and definitely you could do a lot with that on the eyelid, really to create an impactful look. So I think that's super pretty. So that is the entire top row of the eyeshadow palette. Let's take a look at the second row. That's gonna be these here. The first one on the end is called Mirror, and it is a beautiful kind of champagne gold type shade. And this is gonna be another shimmer shade. It's gonna be probably like the other one, more of a topper shade or an inner corner. Just a nice beautiful glow, but I think that would look really pretty on the eyelid. The next shade is called Cruelty. This is gonna be our first matte from the palette. And kind of got more of an orange look to it, kind of orangey peach tan kind of color, so it's really, really pretty. The next one is called Envy. This is going to be a beautiful blue shade. This one's kind of unexpected in this palette. It is really, really pretty. It's going to be more of a shimmer. That is stunning. That is a beautiful shade. It's very, like I said, unexpected. It doesn't necessarily go with all of the other colors in this palette, but I think it's really pretty and definitely adds a nice pop of color to this palette and to the looks that you can make. The last one on this row is called Vanity, and this one's gonna be similar to that one. It's a little more on the purple side of things, actually. A little bit of a shimmer to it. Very pretty, kind of purpley black, so it's definitely perfect for our villains, and it's a really pretty shade. So let's go ahead and take a look at the next row. So far in the palette, a lot of the shimmers have been more on the gold side, so I'm really excited about this first shade in the third row. It's got more of a silver shade to it. This one is called Dalmatian. Is very pretty. This one is very soft to the touch. It's kind of got a buttery feel to it. Very pretty on the skin. Go ahead and swatch this one. Very light, but it is really pretty. It's definitely got more of that silver to it. Very, very pretty. I hope you can see that on the camera. It's very pretty and stunning in person. The next one is our first red shade. This one is called Apple. Very fitting. Very, very stunning. And this one's a little more crumbly. I've got a little more fallout on my skin from it. That is a very, very beautiful, vibrant red though. That is so stunning. The next shade is called Runway, and this is gonna be more of a pink shade. And we'll go ahead and apply it here. That is really pretty. I love the red and the pink together. If you can't tell from my dress, these are some of the colors that I really wanted to play with today. So I'm very excited to try those out on the eyes. The next one is called Stiletto. And this is going to be a nice, vibrant purple shade. A kind of rich, royal purple, perfect for the evil queen. That is stunning. I love that one. Let me blend it out just a little bit better. Very, very pretty. So that is the third row in the palette. Now we're going to take a look at the final row. So we are looking here, and the first one is going to be, of course, a nice deep kind of black looking shade. This one is called Disguise. I think this is perfect for a Disney Villains collection. Of course, you have to have a nice deep matte black, and that is exactly what they deliver. That is beautiful. The next shade is going to be called Fairest, fairest of them all. And this is a really pretty kind of more of a plum shade or magenta. I think magenta is the best word to use to describe that. I think that's gorgeous. The next one is called Cauldron. Nice deep kind of purpley brown maroon type shade. And then the last shade in the palette is going to be called Cloak. And this is a nice, almost kind of, yeah, it's got more of a shimmer to it, a little more on the brown side, so it's a little bit darker than some of the other shimmers, and that is a stunning shade. So these are all 16 of our colors. They swatch beautifully on the skin. They are a little bit unexpected from what they look like in the palette. Let me hold that up so you can see them next to each other. They're a little bit darker than they look in the palette. It's definitely a little bit different than what I expected, but I think those are absolutely stunning shades. They are so beautiful. They perfectly capture the two characters that are on the front of the palette. So I think this is really, really pretty. I cannot wait to go ahead and dive into our tutorial and to go ahead and see what kind of beautiful red and pink inspired look we can create with this palette today. I went ahead and primed my eyes with my Ulta Beauty Pigment Pop Eye Primer. So let's go ahead and dive into this beautiful palette and see what kind of look we can create with it today. So I think starting out, I want to go into this shade right here and use this kind of as my transition shade. So this is the shade Cruelty. So I'm gonna go in with an Ulta Beauty Fluffy Blending Eyeshadow Brush and dip into this shade here. And it is such a pretty shade. It's got a little bit of brown, a little bit of pink, a little bit of orangeness to it. Definitely is just kind of a neutral shade to be able to use as a transition shade. So I really just want to take this all the way across the crease, just really blend it in and create a nice base for some of our other deeper and darker shades that we're going to be using. I want to kind of create a little bit of a pink and red smoky eye today and really capture these two different characters, all of the beautiful color stories that they both have in their own characters, and see how well they blend with one another. So I really, really love these colors. I love how they swatched on the skin, and I cannot wait to see how well they blend together. So we've got just a little bit of a transition shade on our crease, and so I want to start kind of darkening it up and getting into more of our colors. So I'm going to jump into this beautiful pink shade. This is Runway, very fitting for that beautiful pink. Same brush, I haven't cleaned it off in between, just going back in with it. And that is beautiful. That is a very, very pretty pink. So just kind of blending this into the crease, just kind of right on top of that other shade that we used, and just kind of blending those together. Very, very pretty. This palette is very pigmented. Definitely this pink is going on very vibrantly, very brightly. It's super pretty. I definitely want to be a little more light-handed as I'm picking up the product on the other colors, because I don't want them to overshadow each other. I want them to blend very nicely, and definitely this pink overshadowed that first shade more than I thought it would. So I definitely want to be very careful as I'm picking up my colors and just make sure that everything is blended together very nicely. So that is really pretty. I don't mind covering up that first Cruelty shade just because it was kind of my transition shade, but I definitely don't want to cover up this beautiful pink as I'm moving forward. So I think next I'm going to go into this shade down here on the bottom. This one is called Fairest. Pick some of this up on my brush, try to be very light-handed. I'm probably gonna put a little here and a little here, and just use just a little bit in the outer corner just to kind of start deepening things up, creating a little bit more of that transition between the pink and the reds. And then I'm gonna just kind of blend in a little bit more right here. That is very pretty. This was the perfect dress to wear with this palette. The colors are really blending very nicely together. So as we continue to deepen up, I think I'm going to go ahead and grab some of this red. This was called Apple. And just pick up just a little bit. It's very, very pigmented, so you definitely have to be very careful. I barely tapped it and got a lot of color. So I'm going to go very, very gently in this outer corner and just really tap in that red shade. If I need more, I'll pick up more, but I definitely want to go as light-handed as I can at first and then build. These colors are very, very pretty together. They are really, really stunning. So I am very happy with this palette. I think it is beautiful, and I think the colors are absolutely perfect for these two characters. So that is really, really pretty. I don't think well, let me do a little more red. Just a little bit. Just because I don't want it to be completely pink. I definitely want to be able to see the red in there. I just don't want it to overpower the pink. That is so pretty. All right, so we're gonna continue to deepen up. I think I'm gonna use this color right here, just a slight little bit of purple. This one was called Cauldron. And again, just using the same brush, just continuing to blend and deepen things up. That is really pretty. That is a great outer corner shade just to really create a nice deep and dimensional look. And it goes perfectly with these other shades, kind of blending in that pink and purple and red, creating a nice stunning look. And blending and deepening that up. And then also on my dress I do have some black, so I do think, of course, because I'm using this Disney Villains palette, I do need to go into some black, really create a nice smoky outer corner. So I think I'm gonna go ahead and go into that next. This is the shade Disguise. And very, very, very gently just pick up just a little bit of black and just put it right here in that outer V of my eye, that outer corner. And mostly just kind of tapping it in so it'll blend into the other colors, but I don't want to spread it out too much. I do have a bit of a larger blending brush, so I just want to be very, very gentle and very careful that I keep it right where I'm applying it. So that's why I'm going to just tap it in and just blend that into that outer corner. Pick up just a little bit more and really just deepen and darken that outer corner, but maintaining that pink and red shade up here as I'm going into my crease. I really just want the outer part of my actual eyelid underneath my crease to be dark and blended. That is absolutely stunning. Those colors go together really, really beautifully. Blend very nicely. I want to make sure I don't have any lines in my crease, so I'm gonna just kind of use my brush right there in my crease just to kind of make sure that all of that pigment is there, just because you know, where your crease and your eyelid meet, there's a little bit of a fold, so I want to make sure that I have no lines there. Everything is nice and blended. That is beautiful. That is such a stunning look. I'm really, really happy with how this is turning out. I think the blushes that we applied earlier are going beautifully with the eyeshadow color. So I'm really, really happy with how well everything in this collection is working together. I think next we want to go in with some shimmers on the eyelid. So I'm going to go ahead and apply some shimmer primer, and then I'll be right back and we'll go ahead and apply those shimmers. So I went ahead and applied some of my NYX glitter primer onto my eyelid. So now we are ready to go ahead and apply some of these beautiful shimmers to the eyelid. Because we do have a bit of a smoky eye on the outer edge, I want to kind of make a transition from the darker shades into the lighter shades. So I think for that transition, I want to go into this one right here and just kind of add a little bit of shimmer just right where my eyelid that doesn't have any color and then that smoky eye meet. That way it'll kind of blend into the other shades. So this one is called Vanity. It's a nice, beautiful, deep shade. So I'm gonna grab just a little bit and just apply that right here on this line in between my eyelid and my shimmer, or my eyelid and my matte that I've already applied. So just create a little bit of a transition into the shimmers. That's very, very, very pretty. And then as I was doing my swatches, I was incredibly intrigued by this shade. I think it is really pretty. I love that duochrome on it, so I really want to see how that looks on the eyelid, and I think that'll look really pretty with all of these mattes that we have. So let's just try it out. This one is called Madness. I think that's a great shade for a duochrome, just to really create a nice, just kind of mad kind of look. It's definitely a lot of different colors, so that really fits that shade very well. So I'm gonna apply this just right here in the center of my eyelid. It is such a pretty shade. I didn't anticipate liking this one as much as I do, but I love duochromes. I think they're really pretty. I love ones that have shifting shades to them, so getting to see that in this palette is really cool, and I think that perfectly fits all of the Disney villains. I think that's a great addition to this palette. And that is very, very pretty on the eye. It's got a nice shift to it as you turn your head. Very, very nice. I'm really happy with that shade. I do want to lighten up just a little bit more as I move into the inner corner, so I'm not going to put this all the way across the eyelid. I'm leaving a little bit of space. And I think for that inner shade, I'm going to go in with this one right here. This one is called Obsession. And I'm just going to pick some of this up on my finger. It is so pretty and shimmery. And just going to apply this very gently right here, just to help lighten things up. And I'm gonna go back into that Madness shade and just kind of blend those two together, just kind of back and forth between the two shades, just so there's no stark lines. Everything looks really nice and cohesive. I think that's really pretty. That's perfect for that inner corner area, just to really lighten things up, give it a nice pretty glow. I really like that shade. That is very pretty. It's kind of got a nice just light kind of champagne look to it. It's very festive and pretty, and definitely as you turn your eye you can see all of the shimmers all the way across your eyelid. It is so stunning. So I'm really happy with those shimmers. I do think, I mentioned as I was doing the swatches that I think a lot of these shades would be really good for kind of a topper shimmer, so I definitely want to try that out, and I really am intrigued by this first shade here. This one was called Fur. I think it's really pretty, and so I'm just going to pick some of this up. It's, as you can see, it's just kind of translucent a little bit on the skin, and I think that'll go really nicely with these other shades. So I'm just going to kind of pat this on top and just give it a nice extra little pop of shimmer and glitter to this look. And I think that's really pretty. I don't want to overpower the other shades because, like I said, I really like that duochrome and I want it to shine and I want it to have its moment, but I do really like these topper shades also, and I really wanted to try them out. And I think that adds just a little extra shimmer, a little extra glow to this look that I think it's really pretty and it really needed. And now let's go ahead and work on that lower lash line. I think for this one, I'm gonna go in with a flat eyeshadow brush, and I'm gonna start out with this pink shade again, kind of start a little bit lighter and build up. So that pink shade again was called Runway. And just pick some of this up on the end of my brush, and I'm just gonna line this all the way underneath my eye, under my waterline, and kind of blend it into that outer corner. I want to connect all of my shades and make a very cohesive look. I'm not going all the way to my inner corner. I'm going to kind of stop right here and leave a little bit of room. I think I'm going to add a little more shimmer right there. So leave a little room for that. And that is a beautiful shade on its own. It's very beautiful, very impactful. So I think that is a great way to connect the lower lash line to the eyelid and the crease. I think that looks really pretty together. So I'm gonna just kind of blend a little bit more of this in, and then we're gonna start darkening it up on the outer edges. And so I'm going to use the same brush, and I think I am going to pull a little bit more red because I definitely want this to be a pink and a red look that we're creating today. So I'm going back into that shade Apple, and I think I'm just going to line this kind of right on top of that Runway shade, about halfway across the eyelid. So there will still be some of that pink more towards the inner corner, and it will start to deepen and darken towards the outer corner. So about halfway, just kind of blending those two together, just very gently creating a line underneath my eyelid, or underneath my waterline. Very, very pretty shades. I'm loving how that's looking. It's definitely starting to deepen up a little bit more. I think next I'm going to go into this shade here. Again, this one was called Cauldron. Picking a little bit more of that up and putting this just right here along the edge, maybe the outer third or so, just to really create a nice blend from this outer corner going down into the lower lash line. I think that when you blend all of the same matte shades, it really creates a nice cohesive look. So I think this is going to look really nice, and it will be darker on the outer edge of your lower waterline and your lash line. So it's going to just blend seamlessly up into that smoky eye you created. It's going to make a nice dark dimensional look on the outside, and then it's going to be a lot lighter with those shimmers and with the lighter shade on the bottom as you're moving towards the inner corner. So it's a really nice effect, just kind of blending these two together and creating a nice look here. So I do, because we did put some black in that outer corner, I think that's going to be the last step here, is to really just kind of deepen up this outer V of our eye. So I'm going to go back in with a little bit of that black. This was called Disguise. Pick up just a little bit on my brush, and I want to be pretty light-handed with it. I don't want to create a really dark black line on the bottom of my eye. I want it to be very blended and really blend into the black that was in that outer corner. So just I'm kind of flattening the brush a little bit and kind of using that to blend these together so that everything is nice and cohesive. It all just flows very nicely. And just creating a nice, beautiful, smoky-eyed look on the outer corner. Very, very pretty. That is very, very stunning. That is really just a nice, beautiful, dimensional, smoky-eyed look. And as I mentioned before, I do want to go ahead and go into the inner corner and add a little bit more shimmer, because who doesn't need more shimmer? And especially in this collection, they provided a lot of shimmers for us. So I think that's a great addition. I think that's a great way to add just a little bit of extra dimension to this look. So I went ahead and wiped off that flat eyeshadow brush, and I'm going to go back in with this shade right here. I think this is a really pretty shimmer, and I want to try this one out. This one was called Mirror, and I'm just going to grab a little bit of this on the end of my brush, and I do want it to really have a nice pop to it, so I'm going to go in with just a little bit of setting spray, give it a quick spritz, and then I'm going to apply this right here along the lower lash line, kind of on that inner corner, so that it kind of blends into that pink runway shade and just gives just a nice little bit of glow on the bottom. I like to do this just because it helps to illuminate the inner corner, and also I have so much shimmer on the top of my eyelid that I want there to be a little bit of shimmer on the bottom too, so it's not all just dark matte. It kind of gives just a little bit of a glow on the bottom as well. So I'm going to do the same thing on the other side, just kind of blending this into bottom here. I think that's a really pretty shade. It goes really well with that topper shade that we put up here. I think it just adds just a little extra dimension to the look. Very, very pretty. And so for the last little bit of eyeshadow, I do want to put one nice little color here on the inner corner. So I'm going to go in with just a little detailing brush, and I think for this one I want to dip into this beautiful silvery shimmer shade. This one again was called Dalmatian. And so I'm just going to pick up just a little bit of this on the end of my brush, and I'm going to do the same thing and give it a quick spritz of my setting spray, just to help to really make that shimmer pop. And then just pat just a little bit right here on the inner corner. Pick just a little bit more up and pat it right here. That is really, really pretty. That adds just that extra hint of shimmer that I think this look needs, and really just helps to kind of finish illuminating the inner corner. So I'm really happy with how this look is turning out. I'm going to go ahead and step off camera, go ahead and add some eyeliner, some mascara, and then we'll be back to take a look at our final product in this collection, see how that performed, and then share a few of my initial thoughts about this collection. So for my eyeliner today, I did go ahead and do a cat eye. I wanted this to be a nice bold look to go with our female villains. And so for my cat eye, I went in with the Wet n Wild Breakup Proof Waterproof Eyeliner. And this is in the shade Ultra Black. And then I also went ahead and tight lined under my eyelashes on the top with just Ulta Beauty Collection Automatic Eyeliner in Matte Black. And then for my waterline, I went in with Ulta Beauty Automatic Eyeliner, and this is in Matte Powder Pink. I just wanted to pull just a light pink to go with the beautiful pink shades that we have across the bottom. And then for my mascara, one of my favorites is the Tarte Maneater Waterproof. I went in and just added that to this look. So I think this is really pretty, but we are not quite done yet. There is one more item in this collection that is going to just tie everything together and complete this look, and that is the Sinfully Sweet Finishing Mist. And so this is all 4 of the villains from this collection all on one mist. So I'm going to use this on both videos and just try it out and see how this looks. It does say to go ahead and shake it, and as you look at it, there is a little bit of glitter in here. So I've mentioned several times throughout this video and this tutorial, there was a lot of glitter in this look, in this collection, that I was not expecting, and the same goes for this finishing mist. So it does say on the cap to shake well, so I'm going to give it just a nice good shake. And as you shake it, you can see all of the glitter particles just moving around inside of the mist. I think it is so cool. It is so pretty. I've not tried this yet, so we are going to go ahead and just try it together and just give it a nice good spritz across the face, and we're going to see how well this ties everything together and the shimmer that it provides. And so there it is on the skin. I think it adds just a little extra glimmer and glow to it, and a little bit of kind of a dewiness. So I think that's really pretty. It smells really good when you spray it on. It kind of has like a candy apple smell. So it is really, really pretty. I think it's gonna just tie this look together and just create a beautiful glow. So I am so excited about how this look turned out, and I would like to share just some of my initial thoughts about this collection with you. So to start out, let's just take a look at those 2 beautiful blushes. I think these are really, really pretty. I think they applied very well. They are very pigmented. They have a nice, beautiful red glow to them. I would say if you were looking at what to pick up from this collection, I would almost say to just pick up one of these. I think that the shades when they went on were very, very similar. They both had a nice bright red to them. This one definitely was more red because it is just a bright, vibrant candy apple red to go for the Evil Queen. So definitely if you want just a solid red, this would be a really good one to pick up. If you want something a little more muted, this one would be great, but it definitely had more of a red tint to it than it looks like in the packaging. So definitely these are very similar. I think they're both really pretty. I think they blended together very nicely and created a really beautiful red blush look. So if you are looking for a red, these are both great. The quality is really good. They are nice and soft and buttery. They're very pigmented and they're very blendable. So you can definitely build up as you're adding the color. It took me several swipes with this one to really get the pigment that I wanted, so I definitely don't think it's too overpowering. It looks a little scary in the packaging, just with that bright red, but really I think when it goes on you can add as little or as much as you want, and these are really great quality and beautiful colors. So I would say maybe just pick up one of them, but they are both definitely great quality and definitely can't go wrong with those. And then the next product was the highlighter. I thought that this highlighter was absolutely stunning. This pink is so, so pretty. It is absolutely unexpected for this collection and for the Evil Queen. I thought that the pink was just a really nice touch. It added a beautiful glow onto the skin and all of my high points where I applied it. I think it's really nice. It's not as overpowering as I was afraid it might be. It definitely goes on a little bit more subtle. You can see it, it's there, but it's not as just kind of in your face and packs as much of a punch as it might, as you might be afraid that it could. So I think that the quality was good. As I mentioned, it was kind of cold when you apply it to the skin. I wasn't necessarily expecting that. So in terms of just the feel of it, not necessarily my favorite. I don't love the feel of just that kind of icy cold feel on the skin. Maybe you might, but definitely that I think goes with that jelly highlighter. So if you like jelly highlighters, I think it's a really good one. It's a pretty shade and definitely is a really good product. And then the next thing we're going to look at is the eyeshadow palette. This one was so, so pretty. It swatched a little bit different on the skin than it looks in the pan. So definitely it's a little bit of an unexpected twist to go with this palette. But I think the shades are really pretty and they're they're perfectly suited to the Evil Queen and to Cruella de Vil. I think they captured both of these characters really well, and they also put them together really well in a nice palette that's very cohesive. Everything goes together very nicely. I do really like this pop of blue in here. It's a little bit unexpected from the rest of the shades, but I think that is just very, it's very pretty, it's very cool, and I'm really happy with the quality of the shimmers and the mattes. I think everything applied very nicely. All of the mattes blended together beautifully, created a very cohesive look. I think that all of the shades went together very well, and the shimmers were very pretty. I was especially excited about this duochrome. I think that one really looked very nice on the eye. I think it created a very pretty look, and so and I think all of the other shimmers really play together very well and create just a really beautiful look. So I'm very happy with the eyeshadow palette. I think that the colors and the color story are spot on. They're perfect for these villains, and definitely one of my favorite products from this collection so far. And then to finish off the finishing mist, I thought this was great. I think the glitter particles in the bottle are so fun. It is so cool. It doesn't show up as glittery on the skin as I kind of hoped it might. I thought that would be fun to have a finishing mist that added a nice little bit of glitter to your face. And maybe it's just because I have so much glitter from all the other products in the collection, but I really don't see that on the skin after I applied it. I do think that it's just more of a kind of dewy look. It's nice. It kind of makes your skin look young and fresh, and it kind of gives just maybe a hint of kind of wetness on your face. I do think a lot of the products, the blush and the highlighter and the finishing mist, all kind of have that same effect. It's kind of got just a little bit of kind of a wet kind of glow in the light. I think it's probably because of the cream blushes, and then that jelly highlighter and then the mist on top really just kind of enhances that for the rest of your face. So I definitely really like the product. It feels very nice. It smells delicious, but definitely it doesn't have as much of a glitter look as I was hoping. So if that's something that you were hoping for also, unfortunately it doesn't have that as much. So but if you are looking for just a nice finishing mist that just feels good, makes your face feel very moisturized and refreshed, then I definitely would highly recommend this product. So this is the finished look. I am so happy with how it turned out. I love every single product that I've tried so far, and I cannot wait to try the additional product from the other parts of this collection with the other characters. So stay tuned for that in the next video. Thank you so much for taking the time to watch this video. I had such a good time experimenting with the Wet n Wild X Disney Villains collection, and this is only half of the collection that I have. I am so excited about how these products perform and to get to try out the other products and see if they perform just as well. I am a huge fan of the Disney villains. One of my favorite villains is Yzma. I think she is so funny, so snarky. She has some of my favorite lines that I quote all the time. And I would love to hear from you. Who is your favorite Disney villain? There are so many to choose from, so many great just animated characters, and I would love to hear which ones you enjoy. And I'd also love to hear your thoughts about this Wet n Wild collection. Which product was your favorite, and which ones are you planning to pick up? If you enjoyed this video, please give it a like, and if you would like to see the other video coming up with the rest of this collection, then please subscribe to my channel and hit that notification bell so you'll be notified when it's been posted. Until next time, let's be kind to each other, beautiful to ourselves, and never afraid to make up the rules.